What's it like to be a sex symbol? I'll give you a peek into that world in just a moment. And if you'd like to lose weight, clinical nutritionist Courtney Little is here to help with 5 surprising ways that you can increase your metabolism. Welcome to Body Talk episode 92. If you have any questions or comments, send an email to lifestarmedia@gmail.com or message me on the Body Talk Facebook page at Body Talk Bob Garvin. Suddenly, women were calling me every night wanting to have sex with me or at least share a pornographic phone call. I was a 19-year-old single male at the time, and I couldn't believe the sexual smorgasbord that was laid out before me. It all happened when I worked as a rock and roll and then as a country and western DJ at radio stations in Texas. I was pretty naive at the time, and I never dreamed that women could be so forward. It made me wonder, if I'm getting propositioned every day in a medium-sized radio market, what's it like for national celebrities? Well, I quickly found out after I started covering professional sports for a living. As a sports photographer and field producer, I worked with athletes in Major League Baseball, the NFL, NBA, PGA, and professional tennis. My head would spin at the sight of the most beautiful women in the world dressed provocatively working it in an effort to catch the eye of one of these professional athletes. Science keeps looking for a pill to increase sex drive, but the strongest one already exists. Power and fame are the ultimate aphrodisiac. But it does have its limits, and it can abruptly end, as I found out after a Friday night broadcast while I was still fielding all of those sexy phone calls and propositions. On Monday morning, when I went on the air at the same radio station, the calls stopped. You see, on Friday night, I was spinning music as Bob Walker, the Boston Cowboy. But I changed career focus on that Monday morning, and I went on the air that day as Bob Garvin, radio newsman. That's when I found out that news can be a real turnoff. Now let's turn to clinical nutritionist Courtney Little to talk about 5 surprising things that you can do to increase your metabolism and lose weight. Courtney is the owner of Nutrition and Whole Health Solutions in Bedford, Massachusetts. Courtney, welcome to Body Talk.
Thank you for having me.
So today we're going to talk about metabolism and ways that we can boost metabolism. Surprising ways, it sounds like, that we can boost metabolism. But before we get into those 5 things, what exactly is metabolism?
So metabolism, I want listeners to think of your metabolism as a chemistry lab. It's not a furnace that burns in your stomach. It's a cascade of chemical reactions that happen throughout your whole body in order for your body to burn fat, use it for fuel, and your metabolism is actually intertwined with your immune system. So when you have a really healthy immune system, more times than not, you have a really healthy metabolism. They both play hand in hand. And today, when we talk about the 5 surprising metabolism boosters, we'll also be tying in hormones.
The metabolism changes throughout life, doesn't it? I mean, when I look at some young kids playing, they seem like they have the metabolism of a hamster on a wheel. And then I look at some older folks or some overweight folks, and they seem rather sluggish. Do we get these metabolism shifts throughout our life?
Well, your metabolism is based on accumulation of different events, life stressors, toxicity in the body, nutritional deficiencies, exercise or lack thereof, the combination of all your good meals compared to all your not so good meals. So it really is a buildup of all these different combination of lifestyle factors together that can affect our metabolism over time.
Does being overweight have a big impact on metabolism?
Yes.
How about the opposite side? If someone were on the thinner side, would this tend to rev it up? Or I mean, this person probably has a revved up metabolism?
Yes. So usually when we see those men or women that can, quote unquote, eat whatever they want, they have a fast metabolism. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are healthy. You can be skinny fat. You can have a lot of fat on the inside of your body that's affecting your organs while the outside looks perfectly fine. That can be actually really dangerous.
Now, what about age? Does that come into play a lot, especially as someone gets up into their senior years? Is the metabolism going to get really sluggish at that point?
I'd say most of that is a cop-out, and there is some science to back that up, so it's a little bit of both. And as we age, does our metabolic rate slow down? Yes, but there's things that we can do to counteract that. It's what we do before we age, how we set the stage, and how we manage the aging process, which we'll talk about in a different podcast as well.
So now we have a great idea of what metabolism's all about. What are some of these things we can do to speed it up?
All right, so number one is sleep, okay? So can sleep really help you lose weight? Yes. Reports show that over the last 80 plus years, the number of hours slept a night went from about 9 hours to about 5 to 6 hours of sleep per night. At this time, obesity rates have doubled. So lack of sleep can do a number to our hormones, okay? And from our previous podcast, we have repeatedly discussed how hormonal imbalance can cause issues with our metabolism. More times than not, when we do not get a good night's sleep, we crave more caffeine and carbs the next day, and not the healthy carbs. I'm talking like the sugary, the salty ones, to give us that fake energy the next day because we didn't get a lot of sleep the night before. So both an excess amount of caffeine and carbohydrates cause an increase in one of the major fat-storing hormones called cortisol. Cortisol is also known as the stress hormone, and excess cortisol levels, a lot of times we store excess weight in our midsection when we have too much cortisol. So cortisol already naturally increases when we don't get enough sleep and can ignite the fight or flight process. This mechanism turns on fat storage and releases sugar for energy into our bloodstream. This will then in turn wipe the body out of essential vitamins and minerals and increase cravings for those sugary and salty foods like we talked about the following day. Our hormones that get thrown off when we do not get enough sleep are also a hormone called ghrelin and leptin. When we do not get a good night's sleep, the hormone ghrelin, which increases our appetite, actually rises, and leptin, which decreases appetite, decreases. So this hormone, these types of hormones are really affected by our sleep. So when we get enough sleep, the hormones that make us feel fuller longer increase. When we don't get enough sleep, those hormones decrease. So this can make it very challenging to control cravings and to have a strong willpower when it comes to food, because lack of sleep can kind of get the best of us due to these hormones in our body. So bottom line, try to get at least 8 hours of sleep every night to boost your metabolism and for healthy weight loss.
The 8 hours is an interesting thing because I know we all have slightly different sleep patterns.
Yes, on average.
Yeah. Now, what about folks that sleep a little too much now? If I'm sleeping 10 hours maybe, or some folks I know will sleep 11 hours. Is that as bad for your health, you think, as not getting enough sleep?
Not getting enough sleep, I believe, is worse than getting too much sleep. Sometimes too much sleep can be a sign of depression or other different medical conditions that are going on. But in terms of weight loss, I mean, there's research to back up the connection between lack of sleep and weight gain.
I've had people tell me that they have trouble getting to sleep at night because they're hungry and their stomach is growling.
Yes.
What would you say to these folks? Should they have something just before they go to sleep?
It's more about planning ahead and what they did or didn't do earlier in the day. When you make sure that you're eating enough during the day and you're getting enough healthy fats and proteins, that helps keep you fuller longer and helps decrease the hormones that make us want more food, like ghrelin.
What is another thing? Let's go number 2, the second thing we can do to affect our metabolism in a good way.
Apple cider vinegar, which I know I've talked about before, but I cannot stress this enough. I was actually just on a plane recently, and the woman next to me said that she had apple cider vinegar every day for 2 weeks and lost 10 pounds.
Wow. And didn't do anything else, just the apple cider vinegar?
Yeah, I mean, she was trying to look good for the vacation that she was about to go on, so I'm sure she was a little extra cautious, but she said the biggest thing was the apple cider vinegar that she changed because she already pretty much ate well and exercised. So I was actually getting ready to do this podcast, and that was just even more confirming that I should add apple cider vinegar into this. So this superfood contains acetic acid, which has been proven to speed up our metabolism and create an alkaline environment in our body. Having a more alkaline body as opposed to an acidic body can dramatically help with weight loss. Another reason why apple cider vinegar is so amazing for your metabolism is it helps to regulate blood sugar and insulin levels. And just like cortisol, insulin is also a fat-storing hormone. When our blood sugar and insulin levels are more balanced, inflammation decreases and our metabolic rate increases. So how I recommend doing apple cider vinegar is one of two ways. Just take a shot of it every day, 1 to 2 tablespoons, and eat something after that or drink something after that, because it's obviously not the most delicious tasting beverage. Or what I do is I put hot water in a mug, a coffee mug, with half the juice of an organic lemon and 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and I drink that every day. Preferably first thing in the morning or last thing right before you go to bed at night. That helps to set a really nice pH in your stomach. The third metabolism booster, and I cannot really stress this enough, this is so important. This number 3 might be the most important out of the 5, is having the right mindset. So having challenges with our body image and or losing weight can affect all aspects of our life. It can be all-consuming for men and women. So many men and women become obsessed with the number on the scale. I'll just be happy when I'm blank weight or blank size. And it can become, an obsession to get there. And when are you going to get there? And what can you do to get there? And weighing your food and overanalyzing and having issues with going out to eat or special events or occasions. So this can create such an unhealthy relationship with food. Although it's important to consistently eat the right foods for your body in the right amounts for your body, it is equally, if not more important, to have a stress-free approach about this. It is very similar to the old saying that the moment you let it go, it all falls into place. Ladies, that, guy that you loved when you were younger in high school and he didn't pay any attention to you, and then when you stopped looking at him, he came running back, the letting go process, right? So this is easier said than done, and believe me, I know personally and professionally. But once you truly have the mindset of eating the right foods in the right amounts consistently and giving it enough time, you don't just get lost in the jungle and then magically jump out of the jungle. It takes a lot of series of events and foods to cause a damaged metabolism. That's going to not magically heal overnight. And as well as exercising consistently and let go of caring what the number on the scale says. Many times what's more important is body fat percentage, inches lost, taking your pictures, seeing your muscle tone is more important. And as we know, muscle does weigh more than fat. So when we have this letting go process, that's when everything tends to fall into place. So letting go of the stress around the number on the scale doesn't mean not caring about your health and you can eat whatever you want because you're letting go. Letting go of the attachment of the number on the scale or the size takes off so much pressure and reduces so many stress hormones that not only you feel lighter, you will be lighter.
How often should somebody weigh themselves?
Every person's different. I have some people that have such a cool mindset that, they like to weigh themselves once a day, first thing in the morning, because that actually helps them keep on track. I have other people that they weigh themselves once every 3 weeks, once a month, once every 2 weeks, never, because that scale can make or break their day. So example A, that person that can, woman or female that can weigh themselves every morning, they're not going to freak out if they gain 2 pounds. They're just going to scale it back, and they have a pretty stress-free approach or viewpoint about that. Other people could really ruin their whole day and they could start to binge. It's about the person and the mindset. So you really have to know where you're at with the scale emotionally and scale back or fine-tune this letting go process any way that you feel would be best for you. But this is so important. And I really suggest that listeners take pictures of themselves once a month, do their measurements once a month. do their body fat percentage once a month. Those numbers are more important than the numbers on the scale. I had a woman that came to me recently, and she said, well, I'm just not losing weight. I'm like, well, you've lost 10 pounds. Well, I wanted to lose 20. And so I looked at her numbers. I go, you've lost 18 inches off your whole entire body.
Wow.
18 inches and 10 pounds. You're down like I think it was around 2 dress sizes or something. And she just was so obsessed with the number on the scale. I'm like, you look phenomenal. You don't even need to lose that extra 10. So it's definitely, you want to get real with yourself.
All right, next.
Shocker here, it's protein. So eating enough protein is essential to healthy and balanced weight loss. Eating the correct amount of protein for your body at each meal, we're talking about breakfast, lunch, and dinner, helps to increase mood, energy, and metabolic rate. Eating the right amount of protein for your body at these meals helps to also keep you fuller longer, dramatically reduces cravings for the unhealthy stuff, and boosts your metabolism. Eating a diet high in protein is great for building muscle, and the more muscle you have on your body, the higher your resting metabolic rate. This occurs because eating the sufficient amount of protein at your meals helps to keep your blood sugars stable and fat-storing hormones, insulin and cortisol, balanced and in check. We want to keep those hormones within their ranges of the day. And when you're eating the right combinations of food with protein included at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you're keeping your blood sugar stable, you're keeping these fat-storing hormones stable, and your body's in a fat-burning mode, not a fat-storing mode. It's also, eating enough protein is important, but you want to make sure you're eating enough calories. Because sometimes when you're eating all the right foods and you're eating a high-protein diet, it makes you feel so satiated and so content and so full that sometimes you don't eat enough calories. And not eating enough is going to make you store, or it will slow down your metabolic rate. So on the topic of eating enough protein, you want to make sure that you're eating enough calories too. Less is not best, trust me, especially if you're looking to boost your metabolism, you need to eat. Number 5, grapefruit essential oil. So essential oils are huge now, okay? And why are they so popular? They work. We're going to talk about essential oils on a different podcast, but this one I want to talk about grapefruit essential oil. So grapefruit in particular and grapefruit essential oil has been used for years as a natural weight loss aid. But why does grapefruit essential oil work so well for boosting your metabolism and losing weight? Well, this superfood is loaded with enzymes that help you break down fat, reduce appetite, lower cravings, increase energy, and the antioxidants that are found in grapefruit essential oil actually help to cleanse the lymphatic system, which is one of our major detox centers. So we talked about emotionally letting go. Well, this is like physically letting go. When your lymphatic system is congested, nothing really moves. It's like the sludge is trying to move out of the body, the fat's trying to move out of the body. But if your lymphatic system is slowed down and not, the river's not moving, weight loss will be impaired. So the grapefruit essential oil is fantastic. So how do you use it? All right, you want to add 8 to 10 drops in a diffuser at your home or your office. Just smelling it and inhaling it helps to increase energy, mood, decrease appetite. Or you can mix a few drops of this into a carrier oil like olive oil or coconut oil. You can massage it into your skin, but also if you massage it into your skin, put it on the places where the cellulite are. It actually helps to dramatically decrease cellulite. It's awesome.
Really?
Yeah, you can look this up. It's awesome. Or you can drink it. So you can put 1 to 2 drops of grapefruit essential oil in 8 to 10 ounces of water and drink it daily.
Now, how do you get it? I mean, I've never seen it. I've never looked for it. Is it sold in bottles or something? Or?
Yeah, so there's little tiny essential oil bottles that you can see at Whole Foods. doTERRA is a great brand. I personally really like Young Living. These are 2 of the cleanest name brands of oils. Not all essential oils are pure. So, for instance, some of the lavender essential oil at the grocery store or the health food store, smells nice. But when you really get like real lavender, like when I smelled the brand Young Living's lavender, I was blown away. I was like, I couldn't stop smelling it. I was like, wow, this is what real lavender, like doesn't have any chemicals or impurities in it. Same thing with the grapefruit essential oil. So there are certain essential oils that you can inhale, some that you can massage into your skin, or that you can ingest.
If someone were to do the grapefruit essential oil, would it be best to go topically with it or internally or both?
Yeah, essential oils, I always say inhale first, second, put on your skin, and then third, if those are going great, then definitely ingest it. But most people, it's 1 or 2 drops should be perfectly fine. Always consult with your healthcare practitioner, and there's a lot of information on our website. You can just Google nutritionhealthsolutions.com or go to our website and read up on essential oils, or our Pinterest as well.
Courtney, great information as always. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Bob, and thank you, listeners.
Well, that's it for this edition of Body Talk. My producer is Katie Stell. The Body Talk theme song was composed by Rob Carlson and sung by Vicky Vox. If you'd like to stay up with medical studies on a daily basis, follow me on Twitter at BGPVideo. And if you have any questions or comments about this program, feel free to send me an email at lifestarmedia@gmail.com. Body Talk is a production of Lifestar Media.